Hello, Frank. Hello, my friend, and hello, everyone. How is it
Hello,
going?
everybody.
Thanks for joining us, folks, today. Please, say us hi, say us where you're joining from, and also we will be curious to know why you decided to attend this session, among many others that are being scheduled by us. In the meantime, what's going on, Frank? We have some news section coming, so Frank and I will give you a sneak peek, update on what happened within the world of Yugabyte in the last 2 weeks since the last time we had our community episode. But our primary guest, he is in the backstage right now. He can see us, but he is not here yet. He will show us. His name is Yogi. He is our wonderful colleague, a very experienced architect and software engineer who knows how to build practically scalable fault tolerant applications, and he will show us how to use the latest GenAI tools for the database migration task. So that's going to be a very appealing conversation.
And if there are users who ask questions on our Slack or forum, they probably know Yogi, especially if they ask questions about Kubernetes. He always has plenty of answers.
Exactly. And hey, Mary, thanks for joining us today. Hope you will find this session useful. Now, speaking about the news, let me, Frank, start. I'll share my screen and give a sneak peek preview, and then we'll discuss why those news are important. Sharing the screen, my friends. Where is my window? Yeah, I need to show this one. Cool. So the first one, and this is a step-by-step guide, an article which is very relevant for our today conversation. So Brad, where he is a colleague of us, he created a step-by-step guide on how to build a fully autonomous AI agent using LangChain framework and PostgreSQL pgvector extension. This is a step-by-step diagram. So the idea is that you are building an agent that allows you to do the bookings. The bookings, I think this is about the travel. Yeah, you want to travel somewhere, you want to book something, and not only this agent can find the most relevant places for you to stay, but also it will allow you to book some, place or hotel or cancel or change your reservation. So take a look at this one. It's a very long and extensive article. We will share with you all the links in the comments, and you will see them whenever you are watching us right now on YouTube or LinkedIn or other places. But take a look at it. So this is a comprehensive guide. You feel free to run it on Postgres, feel free to run it on YugabyteDB, and let us know if you need any other tutorials or guides that are related to GenAI applications. So the next one is important for those who run YugabyteDB in Kubernetes environments. And
And
recently,
that's something we got a lot of questions. Everybody wants an operator. Even if we have Helm charts, everybody is asking for an operator.
and I remember that Frank, you somewhere on Twitter or LinkedIn, when you shared this article, you said, yeah, the operator is cool, but I also want to understand why would you guys prefer operator versus Helm charts, right? Did you ask this question or something like
Yeah,
that?
because operators for Yugabyte, you don't really need an operator to manage the database and the different nodes because the database does it. Basically, you have nothing else to do if you just scale the stateful set. The database itself will rebalance the tablet. You don't need an operator, like for example, with traditional databases with Postgres primary standby, where you need an operator to switch over. For Yugabyte, we don't need it. But still, people like operators, and then they want an operator to install it, even if it's not useful for the administration later.
Mm-hmm. I don't run Yugabyte in Kubernetes, and when I read this article, yeah, the team shared a few reasons why we created this new operator. one of the reasons that is actually related to the Helm charts, they say that one of the major features that we have introduced is seamless scaling of our paths across zones related. And looks like it was a pain point in the management using Helm charts. So that was one of the reasons they stated. So probably multi-AZ, multi-region deployment should benefit from this, right? And then a few other reasons like lifecycle management, backup, restore, support bundles, etc., etc. So folks, let us know if you run Yugabyte in a containerized environment and use Kubernetes to manage it for you. Hopefully you will enjoy this new addition to the ecosystem of tools of Yugabyte.
And it's important to have feedback so that we can improve feedback or even contributions. But the goal is really not to build the operator that is complex and does everything that nobody uses. It's useful. It needs to address what people want to do.
Exactly. We are doing this, not just for the sake of doing. We are doing this because users and customers have been asking for. Let me share this with all of you folks. The article.
And saying I, we see the comments in LinkedIn. Not all comments are synchronized to a platform, but we have a hi from Abinash and hello from Deepak. Hi, Deepak.
Yes, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Probably know Deepak for a lot of contributions, articles about Postgres and migration from Oracle to Postgres.
Okay, that's probably why Deepak is joining us today, because we mentioned, Yogi is going to show how to use LLMs to perform the database migrations from Oracle to Dialect, from Oracle to Postgres, and obviously Yugabyte. So what else? What else in the news, my friend?
I can share my screen, my turn, just to mention. So let me find the screen first. Here is it. To mention that we have a new version, a new stable version. So we release in two branches: the preview branch and the stable branch, and the stable one. Before that, we use the second number with even and odd numbers to qualify a stable or preview, and that was not easy. Now the stable branch has the year and the number in its name. So the new version is 2024.1. And in the documentation, there is the list of everything that went there. There is a summary. I think this summary we generated with some AI.
Yeah,
Do a summary. And there are a lot of tags. If we click on the tags, then we have the explanation about what is early adopters, what technical preview. The idea is that you may want to try a feature before everybody use it, because the features continue to be built and improved. So before it is generally available, you can have early access or tech preview. If you use tech preview, then please contact us. We need to see if it fits in your case or not. Early access is also good to have some feedback. So everything is detailed there about what is supported or not, in which platform, etc. But basically, there are many things that are coming, and one is batch nested loop. This is an amazing improvement for execution plans, because nested loops can be slow if they are not batched. And now we have really a join method that that can really scale even when there is latency between nodes. And this is now by default there. So if you are running joins in your application, then you should see the difference. And there is another.
So it's on by default right now, because I think that we
Yeah.
introduced this feature in their early access mode before, and we used it right for some of their.
Yeah, basically you had to set the batch size and the default was
Okay,
1, and now the default is higher. Um,
cool.
and the last thing that was added to it was the to preserve the order, because when you read from an index and you get the rows in order, for example, to do some pagination, you don't want to lose this order when you join. And when you batch, you may do the things in a different way. So
Okay.
now it is preserved, and that's so uh, we have only good feedback on that, and then this is why it's there by default. There is probably no reason to disable it. Of course, if you see a reason, then it's good to let us know to see if there is a corner case that we didn't see yet. And the other one also about the optimizer, I can find it there, but we have the cost-based optimizer.
It's down below. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
YSQL cost-based optimizer.
YSQL, this is query optimization, I think, and cost-based optimizer. Yeah. So it was there in technical preview. Now it's there in early adopter. This is very important if you join many tables with different selectivity. So you need to analyze the table and then use the cost-based optimizer. The rule base is good for simple queries, but as long as you have some reporting, you need something, a query planner that does a bit more. So it uses the query planner from Postgres, but with a cost model adapted to how Yugabyte works. So it takes into account the distribution of data, the latency, and all that.
As a spoiler alert for those who are watching us right now live or will be watching this replay, this new cost-based optimizer and the batch nested loops for joins that you, Frank, discussed, and a few and many other optimizations, they are part of our bigger effort. We are bridging the performance gap between single primary and distributed Postgres workloads. And this new cost-based optimizer, we have a YugabyteDB Friday Tech Talk session scheduled for the end of this month, and we are going to publish a technical blog post where Gaurav, one of our engineers from this team, he will explain you like what the new cost models will look like, and he will give you a few examples. So stay tuned, my friends. Frank, do you have those YFTT tabs opened on your end, or do you want me to share this?
I think I opened there.
Okay.
So cost model, the new cost model for the cost-based optimizer, that's June 21st. Here it is. So basically on LinkedIn, we also have it on YouTube. It was just searching. Where do I have YouTube? On YouTube, we have also scheduled them, so you can get a notification from them. And the other one was so performance improvement, and also one with Postgres parallel query in Yugabyte. So Postgres as a way to run a query with more than one process running the query. So for big queries, splitting the work to do between multiple workers, and we do the same, and of course optimized for Yugabyte. So that will be really interesting. Yeah. And
Okay.
just one more to mention there that I find interesting in the latest version. We have more and more customers with a lot of tables, just because they migrate from Oracle or for Postgres, and those applications may have hundreds, several hundreds of tables and indexes. And then we have reviewed the memory allocation to leave enough room for this kind of workload. So many tablets, but also queries with big execution plans that join many tables. So that's also something that is different. Before, we were allocating a lot of memory to the storage itself and not a lot for the SQL layer, and now we allocate a bit more. Of course, there are parameters for that, but the defaults are better for when you take an application and just migrate from it.
There are a lot of changes. Yeah, there are a lot of changes that are coming to our core database engine, to the query layer.
Yeah,
to the storage
because
layer.
we follow what the users are doing, and the users are migrating from Postgres. They want to see the same performance as Postgres. They want to have all those features. They want to have as many tables as they have in Postgres.
Exactly, exactly. So the guys, stay tuned. More is coming. We have already pre-scheduled two YugabyteDB Friday Tech Talks to cover some of those uh, biggest changes, and also we are going to publish. Our engineering team is going to publish technical blog posts that just do a deeper dive in what's happening. But this is a long effort. Eventually, soon enough, you will be able easily use YugabyteDB for the single primary and distributed Postgres workloads. So this is where we are targeting. Next, without further ado, let's bring our main guest to the stage. Hello, Yogi. Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
Lots of changes in just 1 week.
yeah.
Can't keep up with everything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we-
like you were even we work for Yugabyte, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of what's happening.
yeah. Suddenly a new version pops up here, and then yeah, it's good times, fun times.
Okay, okay. Why don't you guys, the guys who are watching us, at least, get used to to my and Frank's face throughout the last year and a half. But tell us a little bit more about yourself. What do you do? Why you here?
Why am I here? I'm here to meet two cool dudes actually, but most importantly, thank you very much for actually inviting me for the show. My name is Yogi. I'm based in Singapore, and I travel across Southeast Asia, and working with partners and customers of Yugabyte currently. But yeah, before Yugabyte, I was with Pivotal VMware. Uh, there, I was working primarily on the cloud native platforms. Started out as a Spring developer to join Pivotal, but yeah, I mean, ended up on the cloud native platform side.
Yeah.
And
Any regrets? Do you have any regrets?
no.
No, no, no.
I'm just going down the stack. I think I'm going to be in a hardware company next.
Yeah.
So,
Why
because
not?
I started my career as an app developer, I was working on a medtech product back in the days when they were not actually called startups. So, and then worked for financial services and banks. So, built like mobile front end apps, then middleware. Then, yeah, I was not happy with my platform, so went to the platform. Then I was not happy with my database, so now I'm in database.
Yeah, like, and once you end up in this database world, it's very hard to you know escape. I mean, like what happened to me, Frank is a very recognized database expert, right, Frank? How
Yeah.
many years have you already spent
I
building?
never changed. I've always been working with databases, so makes it easy.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I are also application developer, but I started working with databases on my daily basis. I think 9 years ago, and now, right now, yeah, it's hard to break up. Also, Yogi Vishnu says hi to Yogi, and yeah, people are
Yeah,
excited about your session.
Vishnu is a dear friend, and yeah, I was watching the I think it was the episode before the last
Hmm.
where he actually came on the community hours. Yeah, he has some ninja level skills in Kubernetes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we,
Vishnu,
we have
Vishnu
se- we
showed
have seen
us.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Vishnu showed us how to run multi-region deployments using Kubernetes and YugabyteDB. That was a very well attended session, and we've got a lot of views on demand.
Yeah.
Now, speaking about your session, folks, as a quick context for you, why we decided to schedule this session. Yogi said like he's been working with this cloud native, right? He's been working with YugabyteDB. He helps customers to deploy YugabyteDB in productions, scalable. But also one day, Yogi just in our internal Slack, he says like, "Hey guys, look what I'm doing," and he was playing with Ollama. He was playing with those open source LLMs and other tools, to see like what happens. This is my Oracle code, and I want to move this Oracle code to Postgres and YugabyteDB, and it worked. It worked, not probably 100%, but that was a very interesting, conversation that we had, and we decided to show you what are the capabilities
Yeah.
and how you can leverage them. Right? Sounds
So
like great.
Yeah, I mean, for the last year or so, when like I've been hearing about Gen AI, I've been trying it. Obviously, no, I don't think there's any engineer who's not tried Gen AI in way, shape, or form, right? So I was like doing the basic stuff. My first interaction was I was looking at a budget report, budget
Hmm.
speech. It ran into like 20 pages, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what's the allocation like. And then I just took the report, fed it to the Gen AI, and I said, can you give me a table of allocations? And voila, like that was really awesome. A 10-20 page report condensed into like just a simple table. I think that was really really useful. And
It
then
can
yeah, I mean,
read faster than us. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I still don't understand why the allocations were done in that way, but at least I know it was done. So anyway, so that was the first sort of my interaction with it. And then parallelly, because I work with a lot of customers and partners, we constantly get into this issue around, okay, we want to adopt say open source databases. We want to, but we have a huge legacy of code. And like I was speaking to one of the banking product vendors, and it was like a confession of sorts, where they said, hey, we have like 1.6 million lines of stored procedure code.
In Oracle, PLSQL.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, then yeah, it becomes it naturally, the problem space is huge, right? And maintaining it becomes quite difficult. And of course, it was built for a time where like compute was problematic. You did not have the luxury of having, say, lambdas or serverless functions or containers. The landscape has changed quite a lot, right? Just in last 10 years also. So that's where the idea sort of took birth, that maybe Gen AI could help in these areas. So then I sort of started exploring, and then of course the first foray, and some feedback from Frank also, right? Like, yes, we do this, but how do we know if it is right? And again, Gen AI to the answer. So this whatever I'm going to talk for the next I guess 10, 15, 20 minutes is all going to be around that. And hopefully like everyone in the audience would have something new to try and test.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think that everyone, each of us, will learn a lot from you today, including Frank and myself, because we also looked at this, right? We had this conversation with you earlier, but we know that you prepared something special. And this database migrations, actually, yeah, we already see that some the big cloud vendors, they already employ AI for those tasks. And also, I know that we at YugabyteDB, we have YugabyteDB Voyager,
Yes.
this database migration tool. Our quite foreseeable, very foreseeable future is also to have this AI working as part of Voyager in this co-pilot mode, meaning that it will help you to migrate that stuff along the way. So what are you going to show us today, my friend? Share the screen.
Yes. If I can figure out the way to share the screen.
So right now you can see this down below. You can see,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
yes.
Present and share screen. And let me see when you can see. Okay. All right. I hope it's not a big recursion, but
Cool. We
Perfect.
see it.
all right. So I think I've sort of gone through some of this. I wanted to quickly sort of let you know about my journey. So I had some venture into AI uh, in like 2015, 2016 time, when like chatbots were sort of going up, right? And I used chatbot through Dialogflow on Google to create Google Assistant based automation and things like those. So it's like to release the code, I would say release the Kraken. So yeah, I mean
So
something like that.
that was much earlier before OpenAI. What models do you know? What models they used? Something
I
that
I don't think
predates
it
LLMs.
was I think it was the deep Google deep mind or deep learn. I think
Yep, yep, yep.
that was
Hmm.
backing the dialog flow. So it also was quite efficient, as in it was able to actually take a few of your example uh, uh, sentences and then derive thousands of variation on those sentences, and then obviously create an API call to your backend API.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was quite good technology. Helped a lot in creating Google Assistance based integrations, and of course it had forward integration into likes of Messenger and WhatsApp. So it was quite useful there that time.
Also, what not everyone might know is that earlier work that was done at Google, like DeepMind, etc., companies like OpenAI, they benefited. If I'm not mistaken, the very first papers on LLMs on this transformer concept, those papers were created by Google, if I'm not mistaken. And then OpenAI, was the very first who successfully uh, kind of used it in practice. And right now, this OpenAI became one of the top companies. But I think that Google will easily catch up because Google
Yeah.
has a lot of strength and power.
Yeah, I think so. Like there is it's getting there, and competition is good for all of us, right? I mean, we get the best of everything then. So good. Yeah, I don't have much background in ML stuff and also, but I obviously was always interested in OCR and all, like digitizing old books out of print. But yeah, you want to digitize them. So I've done those kind of work. I've done like some digital meters. Sorry, not digital meters, but manual meters, but digital connection. So putting a camera on top of electricity meter to actually get a constant reading. So those kind of things I've played around with. Um, then yeah, I mean, I played around with OpenAI and stuff. Now, one of the key realizations that I had when I think maybe a few months into using Gen AI was, um, like databases, you if you think about the models as databases, English is your query language.
Mm-hmm.
So you just use, I mean, English or natural language. English probably is not the right word there, but a natural language is your query. And if you're able to actually ask the right questions, you can actually get quite good results back. So that's why, like, the prompt engineering aspect of it is quite important. For the longest time, I couldn't even understand. Hey, if I want to give context, what is the format should I give it in? Like, should it be JSON? What fields should be there? But yeah, I was just overthinking about all of it. I could just put the JSON in, and I say just make sense of it and tabulate it, and yeah, it does it. So that's pretty good actually. And what I realized is for a lot of our general purpose use cases, you don't need to do a retraining of the model. I have not done any model retraining of sort, but I have been able to do most of the things that I want to do. So that if you're somebody who's trying to venture into this and you think that, oh, I might have to retrain, I need a GPU or something like that, none. um, a lot of whatever you'll see today is most of it is done on my laptop. And yeah, currently I'm exploring the agent development part because um, I'm able to extract a lot of information from the Gen AI, but I'm not able to make it do things for me. So that's where Brett's I think blog would be really useful. I haven't been through it yet, but I will go through it later.
Yeah, so
uh,
here is if you want to make a pause, because this is an excellent introduction. I'm glad that you mentioned ML, right? And the point here is that I also played with ML back in the days. That was before LLMs.
yes.
And usually what you would need to do, you would need to train your model. There are different models. You would have some data set. You would show your model what needs to be done, and then you would run your workloads. And generally speaking, ML and AI was used by many companies for a while. When you go to Amazon website or another, let's say, big retailer in your country, when you see those recommendations, right, you want to, they're trying to sell you a product, and they're selling that product based on your history of the purchases and based on different preferences. So that data is being mined into those models, and those models show you something that might be appealing. But now, those days, you had to train all the data. Now you have LLMs, and those LLMs were trained by other companies. It can be Meta, it's Google, it's OpenAI, etc. And when OpenAI was introduced, most of the time we interacted with those models using APIs. If you take OpenAI as an example, it's deployed somewhere in Microsoft Azure cloud environment, and you would send API calls
Yes.
to work with it. But what you are showing, like several probably months later, it was already possible to take that model and run on your own laptop. Certainly, it's better if you have GPUs or whatever, like more CPUs on your machine, but pretty much you can run it on commodity hardware. And this is what you're going to show. Like, guys, it's so interesting to see how this tech is evolving, because
Yeah, it has evolved quite fast, and I'm really happy that we are able to. It's fairly democratized. So yeah, I think I've spoken a lot about what I don't have to explain what is an LLM, but frankly, I boil it down to it has the capability of interpreting human language, and it is good at guessing the next word, which is like literally the foundational thing. I think once I realized that part, everything else sort of started falling in place for me. I haven't played around much with the audio video models, but I know somebody actually made a very nice Yugabyte theme song on one of the AIs. We should actually have that as intro.
what I will show with everyone, there is an interesting, those who would like to understand internals of LLMs, because LLMs run on those GPTs, generative pre-trained transformers. It's basically that paper. And there is a well-known professional within their AI community, Andrei Karpathy. He worked for Tesla, he worked for OpenAI. I don't know like where he is right now, but he created a wonderful 2 hours video where he explains, let's say, just all those building blocks, how LLMs work. Let me just, I found the link, and I guys will share this with all of you in the comments. Sending it to YouTube, Twitch, yeah, and let me send it to LinkedIn. Done. Back to you, Yogi.
Great. I would love to watch that one. That's another good thing. There's a lot of content. I mean, that's also a problem sometimes. It's like, okay, which one should I watch? We need a language model to actually channelize that for us, summarize that for us. Okay, so I think I am going to get into the very first thing that is more around the migrations. So let's try and yeah. So we like you already mentioned about Voyager, right? Um, um, Especially coming from Oracle to Postgres, there is actually a very good set of community work that has been done for you to simplify your migration. So there is this thing called Aura FCE, which is a set of or an entire bundle of functions or packages of sorts to replicate the same functionality from Oracle over on the Postgres side. So I have seen like functions like next business day and things like those being used a lot, and they are like um, syntax level compatible with Oracle. So especially when we do things through Voyager and all, it's actually able to leverage on Aura FCE to make your migration easier. So wherever we have like static SQLs, maybe in your code, or maybe they are generated from from the ORMs, or if you have it as part of simple stored procedures, those things they get transferred quite easily. So even in the stored procedures, you will have easy ones, you will have tough ones. And what we are going to talk about is the tough one where you have like dynamic SQLs and all.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll go through a bit on the dynamic SQL, what it means, and how is it more difficult than the regular SQLs. So yeah, I mean, if my sort of first query on the hello world on Oracle was the select one from dual, right? So
Okay.
especially I wanted to show this one. Like if you're on Oracle, this is an Oracle database. So yeah, like select one from dual, right? But if I let me just connect to, and
Frank,
if I were to
yeah, Frank. Can you give a quick intro to this dual, because I know this internal table.
So
But
first thing, you don't need it anymore because I see that you were in 23 AI and finally they removed it, so you can do a select one.
Okay.
I think this table has always been there, and it's called dual because at some point I suppose it had two rows. The goal was to join and get two rows for once, and finally it was just used by Oracle when you don't have a table. For example, when you want to select the date or the current user, you just select from that single table.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, when I first touched Oracle, my instructor just told me, okay, you want to get some value from something, just put from dual in front of it. Okay, boss. So thank you very much for explaining that one. So here, like I have like in your code, if you have a query that is leveraging on dual, it's built on like an older version of Oracle. So like this is a database where I don't have Oracle extensions or FCE extensions, but over here on the other database, I actually have Aura FCE extensions installed. Aura FCE, just doing it again. Yeah, it already exists. And if I were to run that same query, it runs. So
beautiful.
Aura FCE has actually facilitated these kind of things where like select from dual and a ton of other SQL statements which you might use. Like there's this whole thing around sysdate, and we'll see how we translate this. We can use LLM to translate these queries, but these are very frequently used functions in Oracle.
So
And
in your instruction to LLM, in the context that you're going to provide to the LLM, are you going to encourage it using the ORFC extension? Or no, not this time.
actually, I haven't tried.
Okay.
Asking it to use Aura FCE, but I'm sure if we suggest it, it should pick it up.
Okay,
We
cool.
can try it. We can actually try it.
Okay.
So, for example, this one, the sysdate is a very common thing. So, if people are running, okay, I want to get a list of things that are due today or now, or whatever. So, sysdate is, I think, a common thing there, right? So, if we use this, and so this is the first sort of try on a LLM, and I'm going to show you how I have set it up. But let's just go for the very first sort of query on this.
And there's anything LLM tool you wanna?
I will show you what exactly it means. Yeah, just give me 1 second. So
Okay, you wanna
convert
show a
this
result.
from
Okay.
Oracle to Postgres for me, and I like to put it in a markdown kind of a format. And let's see. So by the way, like if I were to just turn off my internet connection here right now, I mean, I would get
Don't do
disconnected.
this. Yeah, sometimes.
Don't do that.
But this thing is completely offline.
Good.
I'm going to tell you what are the ingredients that are going behind this. So the very first thing that I'm using behind the scenes here is Ollama. It's actually large language model running engine. So Ollama is an open source tool that you can just download for your machine and run completely on your machine offline. You have instructions for like installing it for Mac, Linux, and Windows. Windows is still in preview, but like say if you have a Linux machine, you just run that command, and it will actually install the Ollama for you. I have a machine on which I have not installed it. So let's just quickly go and run it and see. I haven't even done it live first. So what could go wrong?
Also, as a quick update, folks, we have already created a tutorial that shows how to use Ollama with Yugabyte. I think it's going to be released this week. It's going to be released as part of our tutorials on the technical documentation. Right now, our technical documentation team has been reviewing it, but those of you who see how Ollama is used today, and then you will be able to follow the tutorial to use it in your apps with Yugabyte.
Great. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. See, so much to
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to track all that stuff that's
So
happening.
like just one command, and now you actually have your Ollama running on set up on your machine as an engine. But if you are familiar with Docker, just think of Ollama as your Docker runtime, and how you download images for running containers. You would be actually downloading the language models. So, for example, right now, if I do Ollama list, there's nothing. I don't have any models on this machine that I was showing you. Let me just go and, like, in for me to find models, I can go here, I can get the name, and there's no search function right now on the CLI, at least I'm not aware of. So here you have the option to basically download any of these models and run them. So, like, for example, this is supposed to be one of the most popular ones, and like for each model there are some you could just do a Ollama run and it will pull and run for you, or you can do a pull separately and run separately. So if I just say Ollama run llama 3, so it will go and fetch the entire model. So this particular llama 3 model is about 4.7 gigs.
That's not
Mhm.
that's not so big, huh?
Yeah, but there is actually this one is the 8 billion parameters. The 70 billion parameters is, I think, 45 GB.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is 8. This is 8 billion. This is 70 billion. Yeah, 40 GB. So yeah, there are
Okay, you
various.
have tags like images. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Excellent. Excellent. And this
Yeah,
is excellent. I mean, like once in your development cycles, you can use the model with fewer parameters. Once you need to go in production, pre-production, your company can run this on a more
exactly.
advanced hardware.
Exactly. And like you have the choice, a lot of
Oh
models have
yeah.
been released. I have even tried some of the database specific models also, but I did not find them to be giving me any extra. Maybe I did not ask the right questions, but like Llama 3 Gamma turned out to be decent for me in this particular case. So, for example, let's see. What's this? Why is this white here? So if you can see, just like Docker, it's like, pulling everything in terms of layers and stuff. I don't even know what those layers comprise of. I'm sure like there's a tool to sort of explain to me what each of those layers have. But that's it. Like now, what I have, if I just I can do that to show me some help, right? I can set some variables and all those things. I haven't even tried any of those things. What I ended up doing was, hi, can you uh, tell me how to list tables in Oracle? And I mean, I know Postgres syntax for finding out tables and things like those, but I don't know about Oracle, right? I could have asked Frank, and that would have been faster. But let's see what this guy tells us. So
And yeah, another point here is that right now you're just running that Llama 3 model that was trained on generally available data. It's
exactly,
not track, it's not retrieval augmented generation. We are not providing this model with any, internal data, more details. There is no any system prompt, right, that you're ask the model to follow. Generally, this is the information the model was trained on. Also, while we are waiting for this response, Vishnu confirmed that he tried Ollama 3 on Windows. It works fine, and yeah, certainly if you use GPUs, it should be faster.
yeah,
Also,
definitely.
we've got Brendan. Hopefully, that's your name, Brendan. He's new here, and the question is this an open panel? This is our YugabyteDB community live stream where we show you how to build scalable and fault-tolerant applications using Yugabyte and distributed Postgres. And today the topic is about GenAI apps. We show how to use GenAI for database migration. We took Oracle as an example of a target database, and we will ask LLM to help us migrate some of the Oracle code to Postgres and YugabyteDB. So we are in the process of making this happen. If you have any specific questions, keep asking us.
And
Back
yes,
to
it's
you.
an open. It's open. The chat is open on YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitch.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it will go through the cycles, right? So I can anytime I can control C and come out of it. Now this is good. You can use it even for some scripting work and all. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't look as nice, right? And I can see like there's markdown syntax here, so I'm sure there is a better way of presenting it. So I went on a journey to find what would be a good tool. Now I came across some other tools also, LM Studios and things like those, and they're also very good. But for me, somehow this tool that I ended up using, anything LLM, it seems to be working really well with Ollama. You can download it off of the Play Store. Works on Apple Silicon, Intel, and Windows and Linux machines. And you can. The good thing with this particular tool is just download, install, click, 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 and they have a cloud version. But the whole idea is to run everything on your machine without sending the data out, right? So that's where I started using this particular thing. A good thing with this one is it has this concept of workspaces. So depending on, like, for example, right now I do some sort of commentary for the Yugabyte products, right? Or I have some general chat questions, or I'm just trying to even learn LLMs. And for this particular workspace, what I can do is I can actually set my chat settings to use different providers. So I can use OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, Hugging Face, Ollama. So because I'm using Ollama, I just select Ollama here. Now it finds out what all models I have here. So like I have the Llama 3, I have the 70 billion Llama 3, Gamma, and all these models on my machine right now, right? And it detects those. And for this particular workspace, I can say that I want to interact with this particular model. Now, the advantage of using this is you actually start getting a much more beautiful presentation of everything. So, for example, like if I want to build Yugabyte on Windows, like based on certain documents that I provided it, it actually gave me these answers, and it's a very nicely
Hmm.
presented thing that I can just like export and like share it with somebody to go through, right? So this makes working with Ollama much more pleasant. You end up getting the same information, but yeah, it looks better to work with. And I haven't even explored all the capabilities. All I have explored here is it has this concept of giving your documents. So, for example, I had some of our product documentation that I have fed on this particular tool, and whenever I'm asking it questions, it is only looking at those documents, right?
And this is how you start implementing this RAG approach, retrieval augmented
Exactly.
generation. You have this model that you showed us was trained on the general purpose data, but some of the data, the data that was a snapshot of the data. It might be old enough, but you have some data that is available locally. It can be internal data, sensitive data, or just the latest data. And you
Yeah.
complement the model with this data by uploading these documents. Because we usually, as the ones who work for databases, work with the databases, we usually talk about this RAG approach in relation to vector databases, such as
Yes.
Postgres, pgvector, but also you can upload your documents, and also some of the models they can learn that internal data from videos. It's also possible.
Yes. And this thing comes with a built-in vector database. So it actually puts its own vector database. I haven't figured out a way to like use Yugabyte for this, but I'm sure there is a way to use that. And agent configuration is something that I haven't even gone so far. But pretty much the journey has been like just put some PDF documents and try and actually simplify and summarize those. Um, for today, because we started talking about migration of database code, so that's where I started looking for, hey, is there like a dynamic SQL based stored procedure that I could use as a sample, as a litmus test for various models and various services, right? So I went for a very simple sort of a schema. In fact, the schema, I didn't even know the schema. The schema was generated by LLM for me after looking at a stored procedure. So I
Okay.
was looking at this particular question on Stake Overflow, and this is like this was the stored procedure that I looked up. This is very close to a very common use case that I see with a lot of customers, where they are doing batch loads of files, where in the files they had the names of the columns on to which the data should go to, uh, on a particular table. So this is as complicated as it gets when it comes to dynamic SQL. So it's like the data that you're processing has the target column names and things like those, and you need to prepare dynamic SQLs. And this is where like most of the migration tools start to fail. They give you a lot of false positives, or true negatives, I would say. So that's where I started my experimentation. So I took this particular code, and I just created like this is actually the corrected code. Somebody else suggested what was the correct code for the thing. So like wonders of Stack Overflow, right? So I took this and I started using this as a litmus test. So first thing I went through like Ollama. So I'll do the same thing here. So let me just go and create a new thread here.
And in
And
this configuration, in this demo Llama 3 workspace, have you provided any system message for the LLM? What it's expected to
I
do?
just used the default one. I did not
Okay,
change anything.
okay.
So given the following conversation, relevant context, and a following question, reply with an answer to the current question. The user is asking, return only your response to the question, given above information, following user instruction as needed. That's it.
Okay, okay. So generally, folks, if that works, you can leave it as is. If you see
Yeah.
that LLM kind of doesn't get quite well, or the result, you're not satisfied about the result, you can share more, let's say, examples or samples or context in this prompt so that LLM knows how to work with some of the scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I haven't even touched like temperature, LLM temperature. I'm pretty much like load it and start going through it, right? So I sort of created this litmus test scenario where I said that given the following, let me just remove all these. So given the following Oracle stored procedure,
Mhm.
can you convert the following stored procedure from Oracle to Postgres? And that's it. I just gave the SQL stored procedure. Uh,
And also, we've got a message from Abhishek that Frank is always ahead of AI when it comes to DB queries. If you would have had more time, you would let Frank to validate those queries, right?
E- Except that I can do that on a few lines, but not on a
Yeah,
million
yeah, 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 yeah.
lines of code.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if we had more time, but not.
Yeah.
maybe what's that new thing, Neuralink, the Elon Musk's company that puts a
Mm.
chip on the brain.
Okay, I got it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
create one of those for Frank. So yeah, so I mean, given that particular context, right? Just that question and the sample procedure here, this is what it actually produced. And to my human eyes, it looks syntactically correct. It's actually quite well formatted, and it has the right sort of coloring for my taste. So that is good. And the good thing is, it also gives me the context. Like this thing becomes that, this thing becomes that, this thing becomes that. So I mean, at least when we are troubleshooting any issues, we know what all things were mapped how, and this is very important. Otherwise, I mean, I don't expect this to be 100% correct all the time, but I mean, it could be like, it would take you around 85-90%, I would say. So having this kind of information is quite useful.
What I like also is that, for example, you had a varchar with a size, and it's kind of knowing that in Postgres you don't need to restrict the size, and then it uses text, even if we can also do a varchar in Postgres. So it's kind of putting some best practices or most common usage on it.
And we've got a question. Yeah, we've got a question for you, Yogi. What does the conversion do with comments? The comments, I guess, the comments of their stored
You know
procedures.
what? Uh, the the best way to check is we try it out. So let's say, is that how you put comment in Oracle?
Yeah, slash, yeah, dash dash is okay, or slash star, but dash dash is okay for one line. Yeah.
Update.
Yeah, this is how
Statement
we answer the questions.
variable. And yeah, because I think that's also quite important, right? So execute the update statement, and then yeah, sorry, limit the effective date to 30th April. Yeah, something like that, right? So
Can you add something for me? The create
Sure.
update statement, please put create Oracle update statement.
Sorry, where do I put?
After create, when you say create update statement in the for loop,
Create update statement. Okay, yeah.
just say create Oracle update statement. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Like this is Frank.
I want to see if it tries to translate it or not.
Okay.
Now let's see.
Now we are talking. Now we are talking. Okay,
Now we are
let's.
talking. Convert this from Oracle stored proc to Postgres stored proc.
Because if it was really translating a programming language, then it should not touch the commands. But it is a language model, so everything is language for it.
Okay, ready for it? Let's
Yeah.
try. So here is it. Replace da 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 da.
Oh,
Ooh.
you see, Frank. Works. Yeah, it converts. It converts. Also, what we've got.
Some of it is there, but I think where there's a massive difference. Like for example, I put something here afterwards, which I guess got dropped off. Effective date, yeah, it got dropped off. I think because it was outside the begin or something like that. But it did pick up some of the comments, I guess, in the core function.
Yeah, it might be. You never know because, and even when you run the same request twice for LLM, you might not get the same result.
Yeah.
But this is probably that was not that important. If something is really important, or if you see that an LLM behaves in the wrong way, you can go to that prompt, to that system message, and give an example or correct its behavior. We also got this input from Abhishek. Cloud Opus, I think that I mispronounced this model name, produces amazing SQL queries, utmost perfection amongst all the models. This is related to your thought, Yogi, that Ollama has some of the models that you optimized for SQL databases.
Sorry,
That's
what was the name you mentioned?
Sorry, not this one.
SQL.
Cloud Opus.
Claude.
Is that the Google one?
Yeah, Claude was the Google model, like before they called it Bard. Bard became Claude, right?
I think so, yeah.
No.
ABC, yeah, something like that, yeah. Okay, I'll definitely give it a whirl. If I get better results, good for me.
What Deepak says in relation to the comments exercise, better prompt of not converting or changing comments should. This is what we discussed. When you provide your system prompt, you can be more specific. And LLM usually follows your instructions. Also, folks, before we move forward, we've got a quick question from Ashwar on LinkedIn. It's what's the structure of LLM to do with Yugabyte, how it calculates the chunks. LLM and Yugabyte are different. LLM will take your input and it will produce a result for you. But when you build a track-based approach, you want to create or you want to provide LLM with more context, with internal data, etc. You can store embeddings in Yugabyte. So you can think about YugabyteDB as a vector database that is used to build those RAG applications.
Yeah, in fact, my sort of I went on this tangent because of your demo, Dennis. You did the Yuga Plus, right? Yeah, so I went on this tangent because of that. I'm like, okay, let's try. We've been thinking about it, but let's try it now this time. So that was it. But Frank had the good follow up to that that particular conversion was around the functional test. So I like this is actually an entire chat on creating the functional test for this. Let's just
It
go
took a
through.
while, right? Oh, okay. That was a long conversation between you and.
Because just to explain, my fear is not converting the code. I mean, we can convert the code. My fear is that at some point, if you convert the code and move from Oracle to Postgres or to Yugabyte, at some point, someone will have to validate that the code that adds 20 years of business logic in it will behave the same. So you need strong tests that you run and on the target Postgres.
Yeah, true. So that's why I actually I went by exactly what you said and started looking at, because I've done some code generation for Terraform scripts and some Python and all. So I actually asked again the LLM to produce some stuff for me, and this is actually like this is where the procedure was converted, and then I asked, okay, how do I run it, and then I said, okay, create. A Python function for running the test in Postgres and assume like Postgres connection will be provided to you and expect the output to be compared through a select statement. So this is what it actually came up with. I had to do some tweaking to actually um, make these things sort of compare better, but most of the code, like almost I can say 95% of the code was all done by this. And as a result of this, I can at least show you the script that it actually came up with finally. I have it all here. So I asked it to divide into a setup function where I'm creating the table, I'm truncating it in case if it was already existing, and the schema for the table, again it came up with the schema based on the stored procedure, and it even did some fake inserts for me, and then also it did the fake inserts on the like test data on the update table. So the particular function is basically for the stored procedure is for updating employee information based on effective date. So for example, over here we want to update the employee name for employee 1234 only on this
Okay.
particular date, on or after this date, right? And the value should be new value 1. But this other employee, it should be updated later. So what I'm expecting this to do is, after this, the employee table should have employee 1234 with the old name, with the new name, and 5678 with the old name. So
And this
that,
code was just to confirm one more time. This code was generated for you by LLM during the
yes,
conversation.
yes.
Also, Frank, I see the black screen. Something is
Ah,
wrong with your
I,
camera.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm still there, but
Yogi,
can you
do you
hear
see
me?
Frank? Yogi, do you see
No,
Frank?
he's black.
He's black.
He's
Yeah, we can hear
all
you.
black.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's just
We can
black,
hear
black,
you.
black. Check
Okay.
Yeah.
your camera.
I have no
So
idea why.
so this is the setup function, and this is the simple test. So we pass it the expected output and the SQL script to basically do the execution and the connection. And again, this was also generated by the LLM. I had to do like minor tweaks for handling certain errors or something like that, but most of it was all there. And same thing on the Oracle side. I don't even know sometimes the syntaxes, syntactical differences and all.
Okay.
So I was glad that it actually did this for me. Um, and then yeah, same thing, same test data is actually loaded there, and at the end I have the thing to test the Oracle side, and this is how I'm constructing both the connections, and this is the setup functions being called on both sides, and the expected output on both side is this. There should be new name for 1234 and old name for 5678. That's the
Okay.
expected output after
Okay.
the stored program.
Yeah, looks
And-
like a bunch of code, right? That was generated by AI. The question is whether it will work or not.
yeah. It would be a real life demo failure if it doesn't. So I don't know if should I just recreate everything, or
No, just if you already have something running, just
let me just drop
okay.
table by employee and update. Okay, and let me run that also on the Oracle side. Okay, update. Okay, so now I don't have those tables or the test data or anything. Let me drop the stored proc as well, just to be sure. What is the stored proc name? Yeah, this one. Yeah, drop procedure da. Okay, and same thing, drop procedure da. Okay, so now we have two clean databases. Just confirming here. Sorry, what did I do? Oh, I clicked the wrong button. So the procedures, tables, and sequences, the database on the YB side, functions, procedures, none of it. Yeah. So we are good. We are good. Now is the big thing where I say Python. What is my SP? Example 01. Is the font okay, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, SP. So this is the run updates function, and let me clear the screen and make this bigger. Let's give it big real estate, and it goes through the whole thing, and I get 2 tests passed. And I did not put a whole lot of verbosity there, but the key is that after the 2 procedures are run, this is the output that we got. So if I were to just go and select, what is it? Select star from, what is it? BI employee. What did I drop the? I must have a drop function somewhere there. Let me just comment out all these things. Okay. All right. And let's run this one more time. Just a setup. Am I, sorry, did I, let me just check on the Oracle side first. BI employee. Okay, this is
this the right database instance?
yeah,
Or
that's
what?
perhaps the local host. Okay. Should be the correct one. I don't have 2 databases. Yeah, tables by employee. Select star from by employee update. Okay. Why is this not running? PG setup. Okay, created the table. Execute. I don't need to. Did I truncate? Let me just comment out the truncate in case it is. Yeah, this should be okay. This is a real life demo, as you can see.
Perfect live
Everything
coding.
works.
And so YB2 is a different instance, right? It runs somewhere else.
No, I just have no. It's the same. It's just a different shell. It's okay. Let's just insert the data ourselves. Okay. Oops. Unless, right? Unless I think there might be a second instance of Yugabyte somewhere that I forget to. Okay, so we have the test data for both Yeah, we have the test data, and let's just, again, I'm going to quit it. I've removed the truncation code so that at least it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't run. And right now, if I just double check, okay, still data is there. Let me uncomment the entire test that we had at the bottom here, which is this. Okay. Actual 1, 2, 3, 4, new value 1. This is the new value, old name.
So the first test is,
Yeah, the Oracle side is passed, but on this, they are expecting that new value and old name, new value, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's double. Oh, I must have inserted it twice. Nope.
so we are connected. Yeah, we are connected.
Sorry?
So yeah, it looks like we are connected. Do you have the stored procedure created here? Do you
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah. How do I do it?
It's df plus, and you can type the name, just the beginning of the stored procedure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. So I may not have put the latest version though, but no, this looks okay. This is update BI. Yeah. This is effective date 30 April 2012. The only thing that might have changed between last I tried and now is something on the setup side.
And before you showed us the case when both tests passed, were you
Yes.
connected to Postgres instance or?
Yugabyte.
I'm just trying to understand what changed, because when you executed the script for the first time, both tests passed,
Correct.
and then you started, let's say, changing data, etc. Why did you do that?
Because on the YB side, somehow I don't see the data that I was looking for. I don't think it went to the Postgres instance, but let's see. No, there are no tables there. Not sure what exactly went wrong there. L D select star from by employee. Yeah, this actually restored the data. Okay.
And the script that
Just,
you run,
just step through this. Okay.
show me the script that you run in there. You have several scripts, right? You have several scripts SP run.
No, just no. These were the simple SQL create statements
No,
from before.
I mean the Python code. The Python code you have.
Okay. So here I am actually going for this is the from I'm running that, right, which is basically that. Yeah, so this is giving me that. If I run the update, okay, the only difference is it was a procedure and now it's a call. So let's see if I were to do a select. Yeah, the behavior is correct. But somehow in my the equating of the result is where I'm having issues.
Yeah, it might be. It should be, the issue should be somewhere in the beginning when you if you actually stop this YugabyteDB instance and restart this script, will it fail or not? I'm just curious if it connects to this.
Yeah, let's do that. Docker Docker compose this down, remove or funds. So like I clean out that whole thing. I'll just the only change that I made was all these. No, but this is in the Oracle side. The cursor close, it was complaining about cursor close. So I just did that. Docker compose up -d, and we go to this YB, this, and I don't know how to do that. SQL plus this one. Okay. Sys. That should just connect me, right? Sys.
sysdbi, then
No, I think it's still initializing. Maybe it's still
yeah.
initializing. Probably.
Oracle is quite long to start.
Sorry. Logs minus f. Okay. Now it got done. Voila. Okay. This is fine. Just going to go through this one more time. Okay. I'll remove this. And
Yeah, let's do one run. If not, it's not a big deal. At least you double check that everything works when you connect using
so
terminal.
we insert the data. Let's put a bunch of print here. Print npg setup 1, 2, 3. Just have to make sure that all these things are running. 4.
You think that's one of their yeah, what might happen if you don't catch any you catch exceptions, right? There is no try error. You see this try block.
This is except yeah.
Except
Yeah.
But it's only for the inserts, right? If you have anything created earlier, if it's already created table, then you can get an issue and the data
No,
might not.
I did it with if exist, if not exist.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah, so I did that. If not exist, so just try to keep it as idempotent as possible. And then let's just put something here. npg run 1 and then 2. Oops. We do that. And then we do this 3, 3, 2. Fetch all is okay. And then can I just do result? Is it? If I just do that? No, I have to do a dump, right? Dump.
I don't know. It's Python.
I forgot. What was that? Maybe we'll figure it out. It's okay. Okay, we can come out of this and example 1. Yeah, Python sp. Let's see. So
it passed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, changed nothing, but ended up with proper results. Yeah, I have no idea why it didn't work the first time around, but yeah, good news is
yeah, the restart helped. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah, always
demo effect, or maybe you had another session that was not committed. No.
Yeah. Employee. Yeah, this is what is this is what I am not understanding. Oh, there is. Oh, from BI employee. Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Why is it getting truncated? Is it getting run twice or something like that? PG setup. I don't know why the data is getting truncated twice.
Anyway, that's not the LLM's problem. Looks like it's not the LLM's problem.
But yeah, the thing is that a lot of test harness was generated here fairly automatically, and the actual translation of the stored proc was fairly automated, and we were able to get functionally sound working copy of the procedure. So obviously this is without any extra time spent on training the model or using, like, maybe I'll check the other models, or even engineering the prompt to include, let's say, more comments or comment the code also, might give us even better results. But this is like the simplest one. No, like total time spent on this is like what, 15 minutes tops. So
once you know how to use those tools, and you definitely will be able to benefit at this. Right now, I usually what I say, don't see LLM as your replacement, at least for us. LLM as a tool, it's your companion, it's your copilot. And also what Deepak suggested, like PL/SQL code will not give the most exceptions until you run it, which means that functional testing is critical. It's critical for everything. And when I usually explain LLM, when you take something that is generated by LLM, especially if you're talking about the code, like the one you showed today, treat this code as the one that was generated by a junior developer. And the junior developer has just joined your team. The junior developer is very knowledgeable. It's much more knowledgeable. At least he has just graduated from that university. He still remembers a lot what was what was
What does that stand for?
yeah, and you just basically that postgraduate generates a lot of the code, and you need to validate this code, right? And what you said when you were taking and collecting these final Python scripts for the functional testing, you changed some of the bits, because this is actually what we do. We when we get those pull requests for junior developers, we change them. It's inevitable. But then, if you want to give some feedback to this junior developer, to the AI, in the LLMs, you have the system prompt where you can specify some of the extractions to make it more reliable in the future.
I mean, what I was amazed about the whole scenario is, like, I don't have any ton of background experience in AI or ML or anything, right? I mean, I understand data, I understand queries, that's okay. But with very little effort, I was able to get actually get unblocked and move quite fast. The idea of, like, let's put a functional test around it. Yeah, sure, let's try it, right? And it's so much faster. So yeah, if you're the one with 1.6 million lines of stored code, I think it's good to invest in a good GPU.
Exactly. But anyway, that's already possible. We demonstrated today, my friends, how you can take an open source LLM, you can run it locally, you can create, and you can do some basic, let's say, experiments. If you want, certainly when you have a production grade product with a bunch of Oracle code or other code, you need to translate it between databases. It's already possible, but make sure to validate, make sure to provide more instructions to LLM. And keep an eye, because many companies will keep using the AI for the database migration tasks. Even us, YugabyteDB is not exception. We are going to introduce AI-related capabilities to Azure, to our database migration tool. So that's the plan.
And running it locally is the most important, because if your line of code has some business logic, you don't want to disclose that, to leak that to a service where you don't know what they do with it, because those services maybe learn and build model with that, and you don't want that they provide a model that was trained on your specific business rules.
Yeah, Franck lives in Europe, right? Yeah, Franck lives in Europe. That's why Franck understands what this GDPR means. So just be mindful.
Yeah, you are not just not allowed to put those kind of data in a service. So, yeah.
I was really happy that without compromising the data or the capability, I was able to run everything locally. And I think there is a ton of new things that I have to try on this, but I'm quite happy with what I have been able to learn so far.
Having said that, thanks a lot, Yogi, for your time. Thanks for joining us today. That was a long conversation, but that was a profound demo. And folks, as Yogi said, keep in mind, he is not as like the one who works with AI on a daily basis. So he basically decided to invest his personal time first, and he figured out that it's quite easy to move forward. And we decided to put together this session. And I think that all of us learned something new today. So thanks for joining us. We'll hope to see you in the future on this live stream. And in the meantime, see you, my friends, in the next 2 weeks at our next
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.